mean, it's down 3%, not a huge amount, I guess, relative to the extraordinary run it's been on. But Patrick, it was a beat on both lines. Are you a little surprised to see it selling off?
I am surprised, but as earlier indicated, the run-up into this was incredible. And I think potentially for a whisper number, people just expected more. I think Microsoft is a bellwether for the enterprise. It's a bellwether for cloud. And the fact that it blew through its numbers almost indicates that this company is COVID-proof.
That's just what I wanted to ask, Nilay, which is how much of a tailwind is the company getting right now from the work from home, shift to the cloud, enterprise spending that we're seeing across companies, and how lasting do we think that is of a benefit?
I do think that is the question. This was Microsoft's first sort of full pandemic quarter. Every Azure deal that was on the table or being considered at every company in America and the world got closed. They just moved forward. That accelerated. The question is, do those companies do other companies have budgets for new Azure products? Are we all adjusting to work from home in a way that will allow giant projects of that scale that move to Azure to get sold and be completed? On the PC side, we've seen a big uptick in shipments. We think we're going to see a big uptick in sales. There's some competition with Chromebooks in there that we have to look at, but is that going to last? I mean, PCs have a very long replacement cycle. Corporate PC sales on the desktop have slowed. So the big question is, did Microsoft pick up everything that was on the table as the transformation to the cloud and work from home was accelerated in this quarter, or is there yet more? And is the economy and every industry that relies on the digital transformation really ready to make the next set of investments? I think that's what I'm looking for on the call.
And Patrick, the other question, of course, is the valuation multiple just too stretched? And does a quarter end and numbers in a call bring people's focus back to that? This was also, of course, their fourth quarter of their accounting year. Full year revenue, $143 billion. That puts it on 11.3 times sales, trailing 12-month sales. I mean, is it stretched?
So I don't think it's a stretch, but I think we're going to get the best sense when we get on the call. Microsoft didn't give any future expectations in their release, which isn't surprising, but could potentially be spooking people. I think investors are looking at the gains they made. They're going to take the money and run. But if Microsoft gives some good expectations, I think it will likely continue. To Nilay's point on the buying patterns, I was a little surprised that Azure deals kept going through. But I also think we're in the last couple of months of companies, governments, and schools still getting ready, fully ready for the pandemic. It didn't just all happen overnight. It's still actually happening. And when I look at Microsoft numbers, they definitely benefited from that. But I don't think that will likely continue for the next 6 months. There will be some rounding that goes on, and we get back to a little bit more normalcy.
Yeah, and the other question on demand is to what extent, I guess, is small and mid-sized businesses, which are hurting and feeling the pain of the pandemic in a bigger way, cutting back their own spending for Microsoft products and others. Mike, just to round out the conversation, it does come back to valuation. Of course, the comments on the call. Where does Microsoft stack up to some of the other beloved technology mega cap darlings that we've been talking about every single day in terms of how high the bar is for a name like Amazon? Also a big cloud business going into earnings.
No, nothing like Amazon, actually. I mean, if you wanted to kind of rank them all, it's in the middle. I mean, it's certainly a little bit more pricey at this point than Alphabet, a little more also than Facebook, but certainly cheaper than Amazon at this point. Apple's, it's kind of neck and neck, but a very different type of business, not just sort of a platform play. So I don't think that Microsoft, while expensive and while all this entire category of stocks has become pretty rich because of the scarcity of reliable growth out there, I don't think that Microsoft itself, when you consider that there's a video game company inside of it and there's a cloud company inside of it, is necessarily an outlier in terms of how it's valued.
Nilay and Patrick, thanks for joining us.